So Sue, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here today just to take a few minutes to talk a little bit about your journey before we started working together and to, just talk to the people that will see this interview where you are today through this quick start business development process. And so I'd love for you to please share your name and talk a little bit about your credential and where people can find you.
Well, thanks for having me here, Pam. It's an absolute pleasure. I am Sue Das, and my credentials as a coach are ACC through the International Coach Federation, and I have my CPCC through the Coactive Training Institute. And people can find me on my website, beyondtheshadow.blog.
Mm, awesome. And how did you, just super curious off the cuff, how did you get to Beyond the Shadow? How did that, come to be on your website?
So in a nutshell, because it's quite a story, I had almost spiritual experience actually, and this was before I was blogging. It was before I was a coach. I was at some kind of workshop completely unrelated, and I had this almost like a spiritual download in the afternoon of that workshop where I suddenly had this idea that I needed to blog. I needed to call it Beyond the Shadow. I needed to use these sort of images. I was going to talk about getting beyond the shadows of fear and insecurity and self-doubt and perfectionism, all these things in my life. And that's what I was going to share. And my coaching really came out of that. That blogging was that first step. Yeah.
Wow. Actually, as you were sharing that with us, I just got shivers actually listening.
Yeah, it was a powerful experience. It changed everything for me. I had a job, and at that point, and 3 months later, on the same week that I had planned to go live with my blog for the first time, I actually quit my job. It, yeah, there was a series of circumstances, but it was a powerful time of my life, powerful experience.
So cool. And I think that's what happens, Sue, is that a lot of people, something happens either externally or internally
Mm,
that causes people to shift and say, I don't want this anymore. I don't want this life anymore. More, I want,
yeah.
to grow and develop. And so that is I just love that story because there is sort of this divine thing that happens if
Yeah.
we pay attention.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
cool. Yeah. So just talk a little bit about, who you work with.
So I work with people who want to be more courageous in their lives and people who want to grow, to see some area of personal growth. And it's normally that personal growth is a stepping stone to something else. So perhaps it's relationships that they want to see improve, or it's something to do with their career that they want to improve. But that personal growth is a foundation, and the courage, learning to be courageous, is a foundation for the other change.
Mm. And you're
Mhm.
such a great model of that, taking the leap from your job to just,
Yeah.
going with and trusting that divine download to say, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, I really believe it starts with my experience and what I've been through in wanting to help others in the same way.
That's so cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And so, how did you know when you have been with us almost 5 months, I guess now?
Hmm.
How did you know that the Quick Start Business Development Program was the right fit for you?
Yeah. So I had a coach. It wasn't specifically a business coach, but there came a point in my business where I'd really been focusing to that point on developing my skills as a coach and hadn't really paid any attention to developing my business skills. And I think they're two quite different skill sets.
Mm.
And so, what I knew that I was looking for is I wanted a coach, but I also wanted something else that was more concrete, because there's some things you just don't know, and somebody can't coach it out of you. If you don't know the sales process, or you don't know how to develop a business plan, or there's no coaching that's going to get it out of you. So that's how I knew that the Quick Start program was going to work for me, because it did have that coaching, the coach approach to it,
Mm-hmm.
but there was also some very specific content and training,
Mm-hmm.
support, accountability. Those were the things that I was really looking for, is the training of how do you get more clients, and how do you, increase your rates, and all of those things.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
And I love that you shared that because, so true for me when I took the leap from corporate many years ago, and I just didn't know what I didn't know. And
Mm,
you're so right in saying that, you can't coach that out of somebody.
right.
Sometimes we need content, sometimes
Yeah.
we need training, and sometimes we need coaching.
Yeah.
And so that's super important because I think it can keep a lot of people stuck, feeling like they should know everything
Mm.
and how do they move forward. So, what was your biggest challenge prior to joining us with Quick Start?
It was the biggest challenge was really knowing where and how do I find clients,
Mm.
and how do I increase my income,
Mm.
my revenue from my coaching business.
Awesome, awesome. And there are many people who feel the same way.
For sure.
And
Yeah.
I'm so excited to talk about, where you are now in that process.
Yeah.
And so your goals were to increase your rates, to gain more clients, and really, I guess I can say to get out there in a bigger way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, talk to us about, what you've achieved so far.
Yeah. So almost 5 months. It's actually 4.5 months since I started. And I got to say, the first 2 weeks I did nothing because my son was getting married. So,
Right.
4 months in of really applying myself. And I had set a goal that I wanted to get 2 new clients in the first 3 months, and 2 new clients in the 3 months following that. So we're not even 6 months in yet. We're 4 months in, and I've actually tripled the number of clients that I have. So I'm well above that goal that I set for myself.
Mhm.
So that was a huge one in terms of number of clients. And in terms of income, what I had set for myself as a 1 year goal for income, I'm actually 3/4 of the way there to achieving that right now,
That
four
is,
months in. Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
amazing. Amazing, Sue. And
Yeah.
really speaks to your commitment to growing your business and doing the
Yeah.
work, and
Yeah.
that is incredible. In 4 short months, you've almost 3/4 of the way achieved your income goals and tripled
Yeah.
your goals for how many clients you wanted.
Yeah. And here's the thing, it actually didn't feel nearly as hard as I thought it was going to be. I
Mm,
think, yes, you said you got to do the work, and that's definitely my advice for anybody who's going to get into this. Do the work, like do the stuff. But it actually didn't feel
mm.
it it didn't feel hard. There was a sense of ease to it. And I mean, it's not that I had to apply myself, but there was definitely a sense of ease to it. And
Yeah.
that I didn't expect.
Okay, can you
Yeah.
say more about that? Because
Yeah.
I think that a lot of us are raised with this idea that we have to push hard and we have to,
Yeah.
be masculine in business. And, I think many of us women, I'm going to speak for women, have this sense that business has to be sort of a pushy thing.
Hmm.
So talk to me a little bit about that ease.
So I think some of it was just committing myself when I signed up for the program, committing myself to utilizing all the things that you were presenting. So there's different structures that you have in place in the program. For example, one of the things is your office hours in the Facebook group. That's a weekly thing where you can post your wins, you can post your challenges, and so on.
Mm,
And for me, it was saying, okay, I'm going to make myself show up in those office hours and post something every single week, because part of what that is, it's the structure to help me think during the week, what are the wins, what am I celebrating, what am I proud of. It's the structure that's helping me think, what is getting me stuck right now? And knowing that I was going to post that each week was just it. There was a sense of ease to it in that it just kept it front and center for me, and just being able to keep, one step forward at a time.
Nice, nice. And
Yeah.
all too often, and we were just talking about this in our last call with
Yeah.
the group, but all too often what can happen as entrepreneurs, if you're trying to work alone, it can feel really lonely. And so
Yeah.
having some structure and accountability and a
Mm,
place to celebrate all that you've achieved, and you've achieved a lot in
yeah.
a very short time, can really help us, build that momentum, is what I'm hearing as well.
Yeah. So the other things I'd add to that, Pam, are definitely the support and accountability helped it feel like less of a burden, just moving forward step by step. And
Mm.
the other thing was some of the training. So especially around the sales process, some of the training that you do, it helped me to see that in a different way. And something just kind of clicked for me that this was kind of a terrifying piece, to be honest, before being in this program, but it just clicked that there's a way to do this that feels authentic, it feels natural, it feels easy, and so that was it for me. It was something here, but it was part of the training that you give that switched that over for me.
That's awesome. I love that you shared that, Sue, because it really is, sales is not about pushing and pulling people. It's really, the best part about, I feel, with this coach approach to sales, that structure framework that I provide, is it really is, it's a coach. You're a coach and you're taking a coach approach to a sales conversation. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think this is super important because it doesn't have to feel icky.
Mm-hmm.
It can feel really powerful, for the coach and for the client. And really, that's what this is all about. We're here to have big impact in the world.
Yeah.
And so, tell us a little bit more about how you've grown personally in the program.
So lots of ways, but I think the key one is in the area of confidence. So one good example of that is prior to being part of this program, I presented on my website lots of different opportunities for coaching in various price points and various amounts of time. So here's one coaching session is this much, 3 months is this, 6 months is that, and so on. And what I decided in this process of growing my confidence is what I truly believe is coaching is a process. And while you can have a great insight in one session, clients are best served. For me, working with me is for 6 months at the minimum. So now that's what I offer. Yeah, you want to coach with me? It's 6 months. And the other big change was I used to charge monthly. And part of that was it was also a confidence issue for me. And I've switched that. So now people pay 50% upfront and 50% halfway through, or they can pay totally upfront if they want to. But that's a confidence thing for
Mm.
me as a coach to say, I think what it is it's you're going to get value out of this 6 months. I want you to be committed. So here's what you need to do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you are really owning your value and your
Mm-hmm.
strengths, Sue, as a coach, and
Mm-hmm.
noticing that the transformation, we know coaching doesn't happen in two or three conversations. It
Right.
really is, the transformation happens over the longer term. And so
Yeah.
just really owning that. And what I'm hearing you say is, you're a competent coach,
Yeah.
and you're putting that out there and really just embracing that
Yeah.
piece of who you are.
And that, so I've heard you say that lots of times over the last, 4 months, own your value. What is your worth here? Think about what you're worth. And so another piece of that I'm kind of on the edge of, so this is my growing age, is realizing my rates are too low
Mm.
to if I compare it to that to industry standards. So that's my next thing, and I've put it on my website already. They're going up. So yeah, that feels like another step forward in
Awesome.
that growing edge. Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. Love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So if you have any other pearls of wisdom, around the community, what it feels like to be part of a community for coaches out there who are similar to, before you came in, and just, how do I get more clients, and how do I market myself, and, what do I charge, and how do I, how much do I charge, and how do I raise my rates? What pearls of wisdom can you offer maybe a new coach or a seasoned coach who is trying to do this all by themselves?
Mm-hmm.
How does the community support you? What would you like to share around that?
I guess the first thing I want to say is, as coaches, we often spend a lot of time and a lot of our resources on developing our coaching skills. And that's important, but it's not the only thing that's important. Because if you're a coach and you don't have any clients, well, are you actually a coach if you're not coaching anyone? So you need to spend time and energy and resources on business building skills too, so that you can practice this impact that you want to have in the world. So I'd say that firstly, and I'd say that the Quick Start program is an amazing choice to make in terms of supporting yourself that way and building business, because it has those different pieces. It has the training component that's self-paced, so you can work through that, but it also has these amazing structures to keep you moving forward. And the support piece of not only support from you, Pam, but also from your team and the other people going through the program at the same time. I think it just helps you to feel like you're not in it alone in your struggles. It helps to have a cheering section, when the group knows you're taking a step forward, and it feels kind of scary to have people ask, how did it go? And you know cheer you on as you make those steps. So it makes a big difference. It honestly has been the support and accountability that has helped me to take these steps forward. Mm.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all this goodness and all the courage that you are stepping into for yourself, Sue. And you're an amazing coach. I get to see that in our community as you work with others, and it truly is such a heart-centered community of high achieving women who have
Mm.
some really big work to do in the world,
Yeah.
and you have exactly that. And I cannot wait to see what's next. And if there's anything that you want to add around raising your rates, you've talked about that, but what's the next big thing for you, Sue?
The next big thing for me is incorporating mental fitness
Mm.
and a structured piece of a program to incorporate that and package that along with my one-on-one coaching. So that's what I'm really excited about right now. I never thought before joining you and the Quick Start program, and this was not even in my head, but I like that component of having something a little bit more structured and a different offering than coaching, to
Mm.
be able to offer to people separately, but also as a package with my coaching to add more value. So I'm
Love,
excited about that.
yeah, love that.
Yeah,
And these people are so lucky to have you,
yeah,
and the work that you do within this new product offering is what I'm hearing you say.
yeah, yeah,
So good to
absolutely.
hear all of
Thanks.
that goodness. So thank you so much, and so appreciate you taking the time today. And we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Pam.
Bye for now.
Bye.